Okay, we'll call this meeting to order. This is a meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission. First item that we have for today's meeting is, first of all, I'd like to wish you all a happy and a prosperous new year. And the second question I have for you all, I guess in school you all sit in the back, right? Nobody sits in the front. Roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Erasmo Villarreal,
Present.
José Tellez, Carlos Flores,
Present.
Javier Compián,
Present.
Raúl Ugalde, Johnny Narváez,
Present.
Gio Villarreal, Daniel Lopez,
Present.
Jorge Dominguez. For the record, Mr. Chairman, you do have quorum.
Okay. Did anybody call in to be excused?
Joe Villarreal, excuse, make a motion to excuse.
Oh, just a minute. Did anybody call in?
Didn't get any calls.
All right, we have, I had a call from Jorge Dominguez and Joe Villarreal to be excused. Joey, I didn't hear from him.
Make a motion for
Okay?
Mr.
You have a
Villarreal
motion
and Mr. Dominguez.
and a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That motion carries, thank you. The next item we have is a consideration of the approval of the minutes of November 15th and of December 20th. And the December 20th meeting is right before you.
Mr. Chairman, the minutes of the meeting of November 15th, they were already approved. They shouldn't have been on the agenda.
Okay, so we're just looking at the 20th,
That's correct.
and that's in front of us right now.
That's correct.
Okay, I'll give you all a few minutes to review them and.
I'll move to approve the minutes of December 20th, 2018.
Second. I don't know what he's saying. I think one of the mics is not on. Is your mic on?
Bueno, I think we skipped the pledge.
We're not there yet.
Yeah. But the mics are not.
One of the mic off? Yeah, they're on. We're good? All right. Okay. The next item we have is, everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So we have a motion. Do we have a vote on it?
No, we just.
We have a motion. Do we have a second on the minutes?
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved. All right, moving on the agenda, we have item 6A, the
Commissioner Tellez.
Commissioner Tellez is, let the record reflect, Commissioner Tellez has just arrived to the meeting. Okay, the item 6A is the request and reconsideration of a Ladent subdivision master plan, the intended residential and commercial. The purpose of this revision is to create two phases out of one phase and to remove the extension of South Ulysses Street. The proposed action is approved subject to the following comments from planning, from engineering, from Parks and Leisure, and a notice to developer from planning. The engineer of record is Porras Engineering.
Mr. Chairman, Parks and Rec has emailed us requesting that their comment number 3 be removed.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, Wayne Nance, Porter's Engineering. Yes, as long as that item is removed, we concur with all the rest of the comments.
okay, very good.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Nance? No? Mr. Nance? What are the wishes of the commission?
I'll move to approve, subject to the following comments, striking Planning comment number 3?
No.
No, I'm sorry.
Park and Leisure.
Park and Leisure, number 3?
All right, we have a motion, do we have a second? And a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. The next item that we have is reviewing, consideration of Village South subdivision master plan, the intent is residential and commercial. The proposed action is approved subject to the following comments from planning, from engineering, and Parks and Leisure, and a notice to developer from planning.
Mr. Chairman, Wayne Nance again. We agree with all the comments.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for Mr. Nance? No questions. Thank you, Mr. Nance. All right. What are the wishes of the commission?
Motion to approve, subject to the comments.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is review and reconsideration of Los Presidentes East Master Plan. The intent is residential and commercial. The proposal of this revision is to reconfigure phases and realign streets. The proposed action is approved, subject to the following comments from planning, from engineering, from fire, traffic safety, parks and leisure, and a notice to develop from the planning department.
Mr. Chairman, the applicant has requested that this item be tabled time certain.
All right. Have a motion to table?
Before we do the motion table, can I ask on the fire comment if we can have more specificity instead of just asking when phase 16 or 15 and 16 are have access, like if something more.
Yeah, Ruben Dominguez from the Laredo Fire Department. Yeah, I think our examiner was just trying to find the best way to phrase it. I think what it is there's some questions on phase 14. And I guess they're developing 15 and 16, but 14 changed, so I guess they just want clarification on that phase 14. I don't know if our engineer wants to elaborate.
Good evening, Ricardo Villarreal, Howland Engineering, representing the client. The reason for this master plan, basically south of Los Presidentes has changed both in configuration and in use. The previous master plan on phase 15 and 16 had that as multifamily. We switched it to residential. However, the most positive change, I guess, for the area has been that phase 14 before didn't have an access to the southern track, which is the southern owner. There's a new group, Cuatro Vientos. The Cuatro Vientos is the entity name, but south of the Los Presidentes line, there wasn't access from Los Presidentes. There currently are some negotiations and some contracts being completed to hopefully have that done. They weren't completed before the holidays, which they wish, so hence that's being tabled. But once all that gets straightened out, this is the new master plan that's going to be requested to have access from, so that we don't have another Concord Hills type of thing, have a secondary access for this area. The other configuration with Los Presidentes, City Council passed I can't remember if don't remember exactly what it's called, but I don't know if it's an ordinance or something that reallocated money in the budget to build Los Presidentes with the help of the RMA and TxDOT, other entities. So hopefully Los Presidentes gets on track ASAP. So all this has that in mind, this master plan, so. if you have
Well,
any
once we
questions.
sit back down with them and all this is discussed, those comments are gonna change.
I did speak with the fire department, Mr. Lopez, Victor Lopez, one of the examiners. I did let him know that it was gonna be tabled. And then once it comes in for approval, we'd kind of sit down with them and hash out those comments before we come in here. So hopefully there wouldn't be any comments.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right.
Motion to table.
Motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
I have to step out for item 60.
All right. Next item is the review and reconsideration of the revision of the new trade center subdivision master plan. The intent is industrial. The purpose of this revision is in the addition of easements on lots 14 and 15 in Phase 3. The proposed action is approved, subject to the following comments from planning and from traffic safety, and a notice to developer.
Good evening, members of the commission, staff, Edward Ochoa with CEC, and we don't have any issues with the comments.
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Ochoa? Thank you.
Thank you.
Make a motion to approve subject to the comments.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, what'd you get? Okay, the next item we have is a request preliminary consideration of the plat of Eleden subdivision, Unit 16. The intent is residential. The proposed action is approved, subject to the following comments from planning, from Parks and Leisure, and a notice to developer from the planning department.
Mr. Chairman, Wayne Nance. We're hoping that staff will have the Parks and Leisure item number 2 stricken to be in agreement with the master plan striking.
Would be-
Parks?
We would need their, here you
It's
go. You wanna look at it?
highlighted right there.
It's Graciela Briones, for the record, with the Parks Department. Yes, that comment about the park improvement fee will have to be removed from the comments.
Okay.
As long as that item number 2 under Parks and Leisure is stricken from the record, we agree with all the other comments.
So let me ask you this, and this comment is for 58 lots, right? So is this been already negotiated with land that has been turned over, or what?
The parks, are you asking me or Gracia?
Whoever wants to answer.
The park was dedicated in 2003. The park's
Okay,
requirement was
that's-
satisfied a long time
That's
ago.
what I wanted to know. Thank you. Any other questions from the commission? Okay, what are the wishes of the commission?
To close public hearing and approve.
A motion to approve
Second.
and a second. All those in favor?
Striking the comment?
With the.
Striking the comment.
Striking the comment on parts,
Okay.
number 2.
Okay. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The next item we have is preliminary consideration of the plat of Village South subdivision Phase 2. The proposed action is approved, subject to the following comments from planning, from Parks and Leisure, and a notice to developer from planning.
Mr. Chairman, Wayne Nance again. We agree with all the comments that are presented.
All right?
Thank you.
Motion to approve subject to the comments.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. The next item is preliminary consideration of the replat of Lot 1A, Block 9, Westgate Place subdivision into Lot 1A, Block 9, Westgate subdivision. The intent is commercial. The purpose of the replat is to partially remove an existing 10-foot utility easement between Lots 1B, Block 9, and Lot 1, Block 5. Proposed action is approved, subject to the following comments from planning, from engineering, and a notice to developer from planning.
Mr. Chairman, Ricardo Villarreal, Howland Engineering. We concur with all the comments, just with the engineering one, I'm assuming it's a typo. It should be 1B, not 9B. I don't think there's a 9B
Oh, yes.
everywhere, just to clear that up.
All right,
And we concur with all comments with that correction.
okay. Any questions for Mr. Villarreal? No, thank you.
Make a motion to approve subject to comments amending engineer note 1 from lot 9B to 1B.
Okay.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item that we have is preliminary consideration of the plat of Kaledi Industrial Park billboard. The proposed action is approved subject to the following comments from planning and a notice to developer from planning.
Good evening. Arturo Arce, Mejia Engineering, and we concur with all the staff comments.
What are the wishes of the commission?
Motion to approve, subject to the following comments. Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The next item is the preliminary reconsideration of the plat of Kaledi Industrial Park Phase 4. The intent is industrial. Proposed action is approved, subject to the following comments from planning and a notice to developer from planning.
Mr. Chairman, the applicant has requested that this item be tabled till the meeting of February 7th.
Fine, okay. We have a motion to table?
Motion to table.
Second. And a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Motion carries. Next item that we have is the final consideration of the Stanford Heights subdivision plat. The intent is residential. The proposed action is to approve.
Motion to approve, item.
We have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
And a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you all very much.